Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got Somm wine for you. This is the 2018 Albert Mann Crémant d'Alsace from Alsace in northeastern France. This is part of the September 2022 Somm Wine Club box. I visited Domaine Albert Mann in 2018. It was one of the stops I made while I was traveling around France and visiting Alsace. I loved their wines prior to that, but visiting the Domaine really gave me some insight into why their wines are so good and why I've always appreciated the wines that they make. Domaine Albert Mann is a historic property. They're currently owned by the Bartholomé family, who have been producing wine in Alsace since 1654. Now, the Mann family, who originally owned the domain, were also historic wine growers, had been growing and producing wine in Alsace since also the 17th century. So there's a lot of history between these two families and the wines that they produce. Now, Crémant is a style of traditional method sparkling wine. It's made in the same manner as champagne and other traditional method sparkling wines. That's what the term Crémant means. In France, that is a traditional method sparkling that is not champagne. So there's Crémant d'Alsace, Crémant de Bourgogne, Crémant de Loire, Crémant de Bordeaux, Crémant de Limoux in the south of France. But they're all traditional method, and they're all made with different grape varieties depending on the region. So in Alsace, they use, in this particular case, it's Pinot Blanc, Pinot Auxerrois, and Riesling. Pinot Blanc makes up the bulk of the wine, about 70%, and then 15% Auxerrois and 15% Riesling. So it is slightly different than your traditional method Pinot Noir and Chardonnay that you'll find in Bourgogne or in Champagne, but it is no less delicious. Perfect. Now, traditional method, like I said, means that they've done the second fermentation in the bottle. So again, just like in champagne, so they will make a still wine, a base wine. They will bottle it. They will add a little bit of yeast, a little bit of sugar, and then put the either cork or cap on the bottle to allow that second fermentation to happen inside the bottle, capturing the bubbles. This pours that really beautiful, like fine mousse. You can see the bubbles in the glass. They're quite frothy and fine, but they're not like exploding out of the glass. Oh, this has a really impeccable like yeast character on the nose. It's that kind of like toasted almond, like a freshly baked croissant. It's got a lot of apple and a lot of pear fruit here. Pinot Blanc is particularly kind of tree fruit dominant apple and pear. So it's not surprising that this shows a lot of that kind of juicy orchard fruit character. There's also some like chalky, minerally character. This is coming from fruit grown in Wettelsheim, which is just southwest of Colmar, kind of in the Haute Rhine in the northern part of Alsace. And there's a lot of diverse terroir here. This is a lot of sandstone, there's some marl, there's potentially a little bit of limestone kind of scattered into various parts of the terroir of Alsace. And that's part of the reason why the wines of Alsace have such great potential and are so fantastic to both age and explore, because there's so much diversity in the terroir and in the soils. Oh. I just love smelling bubbles, especially traditional method bubbles. There's something ethereal about the way that they smell. It's not just about the fruit, it's about the combination of the yeast character, the fruit, the mineral, the acidity, the brightness, and of course the bubbles. Just like the bubbles in the glass, a beautiful fine mousse that's really, really soft. There's great acidity here, but there's also great ripeness. Alsace is kind of counterintuitively, because it's so far north, one of the sunniest regions in France. And part of that is because the Vosges Mountains, which separate Alsace from Lorraine on the west side of the Vosges, protect it from weather coming off of the Atlantic, and from kind of all of the moisture that you would see in the other parts of northern France. So because of the mountains, you have this rain shadow effect that actually makes Alsace one of the driest regions and the sunniest regions of France. With that extra sun and that extra warmth during the growing season, you get really beautiful, ripe, cool climate fruit, and great kind of generosity in the way that the wine smells and tastes. I'm constantly preaching about the benefits of enjoying sparkling wine as a food pairing. I'm here on vacation with my family this week, and so tonight we're going to do some beautiful fritters. I've got some fresh corn that we've kind of turned into a dough, and I'm going to fry some corn fritters with a beautiful dipping sauce. Anytime you fry anything, bubbles are a natural pairing because you're playing off of the bubbles and the kind of crispness in anything that you fry, and you're basically using the wine to cleanse your palate, add a squeeze of lemon, add a dash of freshness, and this extra boost of intensity of kind of bright, tart flavors. I'm super thrilled to be able to share this with you this month. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you can cook something delicious, share it with families and friends. That's what these wines are all about. Celebrations, not necessary. And if you feel like you need a celebration in order to open a bottle of sparkling wine, then I say just go out and make one. So, thanks very much for joining me, and we'll see you all next time.